Did I ever tell you about the goat, Dan, that on my route that fucks with me all the time? Yeah. No. There are these people on my route that like they went through this big fight with the city to buy all this land and like turn it into a farm, you know? Yeah. So, but it's not like a farm. They have like 2 horses, 1 goat, 1 sheep, a pig, a couple of dogs. Like it's not a huge farm.
Yeah, you need at least 2 of each so you can breed fuckers.
Well, that goat doesn't care. That goat chases that sheep around trying to get some ass all the time, and the little pig follows around behind him. So, like, the sheep's running around going, like, trying to run away from this thing, and all you hear is the bell of this goat, dong, 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 and he's just coming, he's running behind him. I don't know if he's thinking he's getting sloppy seconds or what's going on, but yeah. So I was out with the inspector. They did route inspections, you know, and they were out with they went with one of us every day, you know. Yeah. So they ratchet a jump seat into the cargo hold of the mail truck, you know, and they ride around and like every stop that you hit, they hit a button like all day, like 600 times in a day, you know. So when we pull up, I knew this guy was there. He was trying to take time off of me and all kind of stuff. He was being hard out. I went down past the goat. I slammed on the brakes. I said, "You see that fucking goat over?" And he like stopped and he like leaned forward and he looked. I said, "Yeah." I said, "That goat fucks with me every day." And he just kind of looked at me and didn't say anything. And I told him about him trying to get some ass off the sheep and the pigs falling around. You know, I told him the whole story. He sat back in his seat and didn't talk to me the rest of the day. Which was exactly what I wanted.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, the one day I was trying to load my truck. I was pulling stuff out of the back, and I parked like right there next to the fence. And I don't know. I probably told you guys about this before, but I was leaning in the back of the truck, and I hear, you know. And I said, what? And like I looked up, looked around, didn't see anything. Leaned back in the truck. I said, "You kids!" I thought it was some kids up in the woods or something messing with me. I said, "Fuck you, kids!" You know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I lean back in again. I hear, and I look to the side, and he's looking dead at me, like he's looking right through me.
Those cold, dead eyes.
I was like, "Fuck you!" Every time I drive by now, "Fuck you, goat!" I scream it, and the one day the woman was in the bar, and she was like, "Huh? What?"
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Evening, guys, gals, and girlies, and welcome to episode 15 of The Gamesmen. The Gamesmen are here to play roles, and I'm playing the role of your host. I'm Amherst89, and with me today I have 2 people. The first one is Hardlydan, Dan Natman. How are you, sir?
Yeah, a little bit tipsy. I had a couple of beers before we started the show. One is Brewdog Hardcore IPA, and yeah, it is... It's described as explicit imperial ale, which I guess would be an EIPA, but never mind. It's 9.2% by volume, so what's that? 18.4% proof, roughly. So fairly strong beer, and God, it tastes awful. Well, no, not awful, just really strong. And then I had Flying Dog Raging Bitch, which is a Belgian-style IPA, and that was a paltry 8.3%. And yeah, they're starting to hit the mark now. I'm getting a little bit of a buzz, but I've also got 3 litres of cider sitting here, so that might be helping. I say sitting here, I'm drinking it now.
Yeah, but the first one you said kind of reminded me of a Four Loko, where it's really, really strong, fruity taste. But let's get on to the next guy, who is the special guest return, triumphant return of Jsslifelike, Steve Conger. How are you doing, sir?
Speaking of strong and fruity tastes, hello. Yeah, I'm either, I don't know, I guess I'm playing one of two roles, is either like, who the fuck is that guy, or, oh, I remember him.
Oh, maybe. That guy's back.
It's been almost a year.
Oh, it's actually been a year, I think, right? I mean, because my kid just turned 1 on the 30th, so, man, where did time go?
Yeah. But last time you were on was whenever we did the PlayStation meeting show.
Oh, yeah, we did do that, huh?
Yep. Yeah, that was the last time you were on.
Yeah, things have been crazy. Everything's been nuts. Jacob's first birthday, we bought a house. We actually close on the new house next month on the 17th. Still not sure what we're going to do with this place. I don't know if we're going to list it or if we're going to rent it out or what we're going to do. Maybe I'll become a slumlord for a little bit. No, I mean, actually, compared to a lot of places over here, this place is pretty nice. So,
well, I know someone that's looking for a place who's living with his wife and at his parents' house at the moment. So perhaps you could sort something out with him.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't wait to get a house.
I'll tell you what, I'm motivated to sell or motivated to rent. It depends. I'm so excited to get into this new place because it's like 3 times as big as what we have here. We got it for a great price. It's all brick and I don't know. I'm excited. It's the first thing in my life that I've ever wanted, not for me, but for my wife and my kid. You know what I mean? And that in itself is just, pretty exciting. You know,
and I guess kind of scary because you're definitely growing up.
Yeah, man. It's funny. Like I played a little bit last night, but before last night, the last game that I played was almost 2 weeks ago. You know, like it's just, man, it's been nuts. But just watching him develop and watching him discover things is almost like me discovering things again for the first time. It's really cool.
So a year in, still way better than you imagined, and
oh my god,
absolutely fantastic.
You know, if we would have went to the baby store and picked one out, I wouldn't have picked a better one. I would have picked him. So it's been awesome.
Wait, you have baby stores in the States?
Some places. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that kind of be adoption anyway?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but it's not really going to a store and go, I'll have that one, please. Does it come in yellow?
But now he's getting to the point where he's starting to test us a little bit, you know, where every day is a test and he sees what he can get away with and what he can't. And
wait till this time next year and he's in his terrible 2s.
I know. You know, they opened up our local contract at work, and we now have 3 slots from Christmas, starting Christmas Day all the way through New Year's Day as a week's vacation. And I got the last one, so now I'm going to be able to spend that whole week with him, and it's going to be a ton of fun.
I thought for 1 minute you were going to say, and you signed him up for a route.
Yeah. That's where I thought it was going.
Yep, get out there.
We got him in the early program for Mailman.
Yeah. Well, you know, and Lisa would probably say that's something he would say because I already told her to put him in the baby Bjorn on her back like Yoda and go out and cut the grass when we get to the new house. And you guys will have fun. There's not a lot of grass. There's not too much.
Yeah. Whenever we were talking on the phone earlier and you were talking to the one kid, and you asked him if she's going to cut grass, he's like, no.
Yeah. Well, see, the way I look at it is I get paid minimum wage to deliver mail, and the rest of my hourly wage is to mess with people. That's the way I look at it, right? So this kid, I saw him and I had mentioned something to him. He said, we're getting ready to do some spring yard work out here. I said, well, my question is, where's all the women at? I thought women did that. That was women's work. He said, nope, women work on the inside of the house. And I said, well, I thought if it happened at home, women did it. And he said, nope. I said, what do you think? You think my wife cut the grass? He said, no. I know better than that. She's a woman. She ain't going to cut grass. That's man's job. I said, oh, boy, you got a lot to learn, kid. You got a lot to learn. I actually had Lisa cutting grass for a little while around here, but that she is now under the disillusion that she has a 1-year-old to take care of, and that's all she can do. So we got to get her multitasking pretty soon.
I thought they were good at multitasking.
Yeah, she is, but multitasking means Facebook, kid, cooking, cleaning.
Phone in one hand, baby in the other. Foot on
that's
foot on the skillet.
Google Glass, microwave, lawnmower. There you go.
My God, connect. Yeah, but no, things been great. Everything's been great. I thought I was going to miss everything. I thought, and really, to be honest, I haven't really missed it so much because I've just been watching him discover stuff, and it's been a load of fun.
It sounds good.
And by the way, any of you people, Tony Miller, Aaron, Indifference, any of you guys, how you people do this with a family, I have no clue. There is no way I could ever pour the time into this that I used to pour into it now. There's no way.
At least you don't have to edit it or record it, or all you gotta do is show up and talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Although sometimes that can take longer.
Sometimes. Especially when there's goat stories and all kind of other stuff. So
I was just thinking about last week's. It was like 4+ hours.
Oh my God.
The recording was like 3 hours 15 minutes, and I had to cut it. I cut 45 minutes out, so I didn't think people wanted to listen to us ramble on for a good hour just about some random stuff. So that was a fun podcast to edit.
Editing for content is a good thing, I think. Yeah.
But since we've been talking so much about random stuff, let's get into some game stuff. And since Steve kind of talked a little bit, we're gonna let you go first, Dan. What have you been playing?
Yeah, not a huge amount. I have just half an hour before we started this call finished Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah, you did.
And 20+ minutes of that was watching the credits. Wow, I understand, it's huge budget stuff, but when you always hear about the amount of money that's being plowed into games, and when they take millions of dollars, it's still considered a failure. When you look at the huge companies like that, and you look at all the people involved in the game, you're like, I can understand why you're calling that a failure, because there's not enough money to go around. But it's incredible. If you look at any of the Ubisoft titles recently, the different houses doing the languaging, everything else going on. Ubisoft is a huge company. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's kind of scarily big now. And the credits just go to show that. But then there's also people in the credits that maybe don't necessarily need to be there, like the human resources team for the company. Now, they hire the people that are going to be making the game, but they're indirectly involved in the game. I don't think they necessarily need to be there and padding out the damn credits all that time. I just want to know who's directly involved in the game and sit and watch that. And I still always sit and watch all the credits, because one time I got an achievement for watching all of them, and you never know when that's going to happen again.
What game was that? I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but
throw the human resources department a bone.
Okay.
I figure, the hell with it. Just put everybody in there. Because the thing is, you figure if a typical development cycle takes anywhere between 2 to 3 years, you got to put the kitchen sink in.
Okay.
Man,
do they need the development babies, the children that have been born?
Yeah, man. Come on, that's the next generation of people they're going to sell games to.
God.
But they're not buying anything yet.
Yeah, but honestly, when you think about it, and I mean, I know I see it from the other side now. The amount of time taken away from those people being able to spend with their babies.
Yeah, no,
that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. But I mean, if it's every 3 years, it'd be different if you were putting something out like once a month or something like that. Like if it was an episode of Wolf Among Us or Walking Dead. I mean, I'd probably still want to be in there. But if you have it all the time, okay, maybe HR doesn't need to be in there, but maybe the final episode 5, maybe you throw everybody in there. But if it's a once every 3 year thing, then oh well.
Or as it's going to be with Assassin's Creed, once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Although there will be teams that have been working on it for a hell of a lot longer than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back onto the game. Really rather enjoyed it. I think it had the best ending of any of the Assassin's Creed games I've played. I felt instead of cold and empty, I felt a little bit warm and fuzzy. And I'm broken, so things don't really affect me.
Walking Dead doesn't do it for him, but you get him in Black Flag, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just a bit warm and fuzzy. That was it. It wasn't anything major. I was like, no, that was nice.
And you didn't feel sad and depressed at the end of it?
Let me ask you something, okay? Because this is where my disconnect comes with, as you have it here in the Google Doc, which seems like an innuendo, Ask Creed BF. I don't know what that would even spell out to be, but so it just looks funny, and my mind wanders. So I was apparently one of the 3.5 people that enjoyed the present day stuff and wished that it could be more.
Yeah.
So now that all the Desmond stuff's taken away, is it for better or for worse?
There's still present day stuff. There's still the story going on. There are still some characters that were in the old stuff with Desmond.
Now there's no like free running stuff in this game. There's just it's actually first person outside the Animus.
Yeah, all the Animus stuff's first person.
Oh, there was such potential.
But it doesn't mean to say they're going to keep it like that.
Okay, all right.
You're stuck in a building, so there's not a huge amount you can do. There's
a pretty big building.
Yeah, it's a damn big building. Those server rooms are huge. I mean, they have like 100-foot tall ceilings in the server rooms. It's incredible.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I actually really quite enjoyed it. I did a load more side mission stuff on this than I've ever done in an Assassin's Creed game, apart from maybe the first one.
Which one did you blow through? Was that
Revelations and 3?
I did the same thing with Revelations. Yeah, but
I did quite enjoy the stuff in Revelations. The stuff where you're not in the memory but still in the Animus, trying not to spoil it too much. That felt a bit tedious, but I did like all the backstory you got from it. So it was, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And it was like, is it? Yeah.
It was good to blow through, though. And I was, about halfway through, I'm like, I'm done with Assassin's Creed, dude. I'm done. And then I get to the end, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm buying the next one. In the end was all I needed to be hooked back in, and I hate that. I hate it.
But Black Flag is definitely like the best Assassin's Creed game out there.
Although the end doesn't really give you too much of a hint about what's to come. I mean, there's a load of stuff in the game that does.
It does, but it already happened if you go in the the games. Since you are playing as, oh god, what's his name in 3? Connor's dad.
Haytham.
You play Haytham's dad.
Edward. Yeah.
Edward, yeah.
So, but now I'm thinking that since I have the rest of them on the PS3, I will probably wait until it's dirt cheap and I'll buy 4 on the PS3. I was amazed at the side-by-sides of how good it looked on current gen.
Yeah. I played it on PC, so I don't know how it looks on current gen. I haven't actually looked at stuff.
Last gen now.
Last gen, yeah.
I look at these things through the glasses of like a historian now, that I think about, okay, when Jacob is whatever, I would love for him to sit there and go back and play through all these and see what he thinks of them. So, you know what I mean? So I try to keep them on one platform and try to make sure that platform does not overheat nor break in another 10 years. You know what I mean? 12 years, something like that. But
you know what the platform to go for there is then, don't you?
Well, I know, but I have a.
I know, but I've got a PS3. Damn it!
I know, but I have a 5-foot line of PS3 games sitting here in my my shelves here.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It looked fantastic. I loved the shanties. I really don't want to go too deep into the game. There were bits that really pissed me off. The tips that keep popping up. Didn't even bother looking to see if you could turn them off, because occasionally there were tips that were handy. But but not that often. But I'd captured every single damn fort, and it keeps coming up with the tip saying, capture a fort to reveal more of the map. And I'm like, there are no more forts, damn it.
Huh,
Stop telling me to capture them.
That never happened to me or after I captured them all. Huh.
And
I didn't notice, I'm not sure.
Whenever it would keep giving me alerts of the things I could craft, and I was like, I'm not bothered about crafting that specific costume. I don't care about that. But it would still pop up saying, you can craft this, and I was like, yeah, I know, you've told me 28 times. Do you suddenly think that the 30th time I'm going to think, oh, I better craft that?
See, I like whenever it told me whenever I could make a new upgrade for, like, your guns or your ammo pouch or whatever.
Yeah,
that was always good.
When I could do that, it would be fine. But for the cosmetic stuff, and also like the AI, they'd say, "Oh, we've got new equipment to upgrade the ship, so we can upgrade the ship now, sir." And you go down and like, no, I can't upgrade the ship. I haven't got enough of everything, and everything's upgraded.
I just love whenever you jump off the ship, like, Captain Fancy to swim. Yeah.
I got Captain Fancy to swim like twice, and the rest of the time it was Captain Overboard. And I'm like, did you just see me swing off that rope and deliberately swim towards it? I just imagine some guy there with like a rope or something like life aid just ready to chuck it out whilst I'm swimming away.
Hit you with the ring buoy.
Yeah. So yeah, really rather enjoyed it. I've got one more on my list of shame to finish.
2.
No, I haven't bought that. So it's not on my list of shame.
Okay.
The other thing I've been playing is My Girl, the video game. Which
Wait, if there was ever a crickets entry in the Google Doc, I don't know. Explain this to me.
Yeah, I looked and I was like, what? Is that one of those like? Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not the first thing you'd think of with like a movie video game crossover, is it?
I thought it was a scratch and sniff mobile game or something.
No, it's a web browser game, and if you go to mygirlthegame.com, you can play it. And it's annoying. I completed it earlier, but there's no credits, so I couldn't enter it. The victory achieved over at g4te.com. But
I don't think that one counts.
Yeah, it doesn't count. But it's being billed as a beautiful interactive experience, which is an incredible amount of hyperbole for a game where the only controls are the arrow keys or WS, AS, and D. And basically you step into the shoes of Thomas J., obviously played by Macaulay Culkin in the movie, and it does look a bit like him. You do still want to kind of kill him. And if you've seen the movie, which I guess most people listening to this probably have,
I haven't. I have no idea
you'll know how it ends. It's a nice little game. I can't tell you who it's made by because when you play the game, it says made by the people that made this game. So yeah, nice one, guys. And your health is represented by a lovely 80s style mood ring. And the closer it gets to black, the closer to death you are. And it's not very big. It takes all of 1-2 minutes to complete. And it always ends in the same way. You end up... okay, spoiler for people that haven't seen the film. The character... I guess, Gary, you have no intention of seeing it anyway.
Probably not.
He dies in the film because of bee stings. He's allergic to them. And in the game, you get chased by bees.
Not the bees! The bees are in my eyes!
And every time, you get stung, he's like, no, bees!
No, wait. I got one question.
Yeah.
How
did I find it?
Yeah.
My weekly Google search for video game under the news section in Google.
Okay.
And it's interesting. And at the end of it, you hear the audio of the clip where Thomas J dies, and there's a little kid crying. He's like, his glasses, he can't see without his glasses. Put them on. Do you want to come climb a tree, Thomas J? So,
oh my
he's gone.
God.
So yeah, it's an interesting game, and I've played it 3 times so far.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
probably going to play it again in a minute.
God.
The skybox, there's a nasty seam where you can see where they've made the texture, and then it just butts up to the beginning of it again, so there's a nice line coming down. And
I'm probably going to play it again 18 times while Gary talks about what he's played.
And,
I just watched the ending, you know.
and the bees, they've not been recorded, like they're not real live bees. It's just a bloke going. Bzzz.
Oh my god.
But it's a fun little game that
Oh, Dan.
reminded me of a simpler time.
Oh, Dan.
But yeah, that's about it. I played Assassin's Creed and My Girl, the video game. Oh, and it has a MIDI score to it. So you've got a MIDI version of the My Girl song.
Oh, jeez.
So for the past hour, I've in my head has been going bom 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 bom.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, so that's about it. I'm sorry I haven't played anything new up to
You're
date.
lying. If you look in the document.
Am I? Okay, yeah. The Wolf Among Us episode 3. Apparently, I have played something else. Yay!
Okay, so don't say too much.
Yeah.
I'm actually planning on getting to that pretty soon. I want to finish up what I started last night, but
It's it's really good. I've said before with the previous shows.
If you want to see how good it is, go look at Teflon's victory achieved for episode 2.
Yeah. he's loving it. Oh,
He's
mine,
got the O face.
It's fantastic. There's definitely a upstep in the graphical quality from the Walking Dead season 1.
Yeah.
So much so that apparently Teflon, he was saying that it stutters a bit on his 360. So maybe not the format to play it on. Obviously, PC.
It's a lot more vivid, at least in color.
Yeah, it's a lot more. And there's some absolutely fantastic moments in it. Again, I'm broken, so the emotion side of it doesn't really affect me. But some of the combat events are definitely fun.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more in this than there is in like The Walking Dead. I mean, it's all pretty much quick time stuff, so.
Yeah, and it's odd because I generally hate quick time events, but Telltale Games have actually got them to feel like almost like proper combat in a game. And I suppose part of that's because I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, and when you press B to block, that is almost like a quick time event anyway.
And you feel like a little bit of anxiety whenever you're doing it, because everything slows down and they give you like a little dot that you have to press on. You're like, fuck. And
it's quite easy to cock up and fail.
Yeah.
So it's there's so much I want to talk about it, but obviously I know there's a load of people out there that haven't played it yet, and shame on all of you, and you, Steve. Rubbing my finger. Shame on you, sir. Shame.
I can't even find time for regular games.
Yeah, true.
But I can't even find time for anything.
It's very good and incredibly immersive. And a lot of people, I guess, who haven't played it have probably just heard that or read the book, the comic books or whatever. They just know that it's set in. With the characters from fairy tales, and they're like, oh, that doesn't sound like me, that doesn't sound manly, which is what a friend of mine was saying, and then I got him to try it, and he was like, this game's awesome.
Hey, people said that about Kingdom Hearts.
Well,
that game's awesome.
There's a lot of gore in it.
Yeah, there is.
As one would expect from Telltale Games, but the story's really good. It keeps you guessing. I'm still not entirely sure who's behind everything that's happened. So, yeah, very good. Loving it. But because of the way Gary and I have been playing it, and the same with episode 2, I especially am more aware of that kind of diamond shape to the paths you take.
Yeah, we're having a blast doing that.
We've been taking we haven't deliberately been taking different routes, but it's just that's how it's happened. But the upshot has been pretty much the same.
Yeah, because what we do is we start playing at the same exact time. Like, I had to wait for him to get it all downloaded whenever I got home from work. He completely forgot it even came out. And I was like, come on, get it ready. And we started playing. We played through the whole thing, got done like literally the same second, and we did our victory achieve, and like the same minute they both went up. So they're probably like, what the hell? But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
With The Walking Dead as well.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do a spoiler show on both after.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because it's storytelling at its finest. I think at the moment, I haven't played any game that's had me so engrossed with the story. But then I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, so I guess that just goes to show. But yeah, that's it for me. Steve.
Oh well. Speaking of bees, a moment ago, I made a return to Rapture.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I finished that last week.
Yeah, I started it last night. Like I said, I hadn't really played anything in like 2 weeks. The last thing I had played was, a little game I'll talk about in a second. It's not so little. But Burial at Sea, Episode 2. Pretty neat to play as Elizabeth and totally have that sort of semi-immortality of run and gun taken away from you.
Yeah.
It's nifty. Yeah.
So did you find the fact that it's much more stealth-orientated a little bit jarring to start with? Or
like I hated the fact of, like, it's almost incongruous that the Skyhook can do a stealth kill, but it can only stun them from the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that I had a little bit of difficulty, like, kind of reconciling that in my crazy brain when I play stuff like this.
Have you tried using the Skyhook? And I think what, like, they tell you at the beginning, you jump behind somebody, go into a crouch, and then you take them out that way.
Yeah.
I like doing that a lot. And the crossbow is so cool to have.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
The fact you found you can't use plasmids whilst on the Skyhook.
I don't think I ever tried.
Yeah, I don't think I really ever did either.
Yeah, I tried at one point because I was like, oh yeah, that'd be perfect. Get him to attack them whilst I'm up here, nice and. No, I can't do that.
I do like the Peeping Tom plasmid that kind of reconciles the.
I just love how you get it too.
I know it is. It's in like the red light district of Rapture. It's it's kind of a way to reconcile futuristic, infrared see-through walls kind of crap in a sort of old-timey setting,
And going from the plasmid, didn't you find now there's no way you can attack them? The big daddies suddenly become a lot scarier and meaner because you're like, oh crap. And then,
well, I actually found myself using the possession plasmid a lot more.
Yeah.
And using a splicer or two to take out one or two and then kind of weed them out that way and save my crossbow bolts. But something that I didn't like, there was a part where you have to find certain parts to do something.
Yeah.
And I had to go in with a bunch of bathyspheres. And as I'm leaving, there were two guys that spawned on the way out where there was nothing before.
Yeah, all the ones you've taken out all respawn.
Yeah, well, I went out and I shot the one with a bolt, with a sleep bolt, and I said, "Oh, okay. Well, let me just backtrack back into this room and grab the one that was on the ground." Well, I go back and I hear them back in there. They're talking all their crazy mumbo jumbo and stuff, But I was like, no. So I just completely kept progressing, and I didn't go back for anything because I ain't wasting more time on those splicers. But, I think Gary said where I'm at now, I probably have about an hour left. Stayed up way too late last night.
How late was that?
Way too early, about 1 o'clock in the morning, and
that sounds like a Tony Miller thing.
Yeah. No, that was really cool, and especially for $5 for a season pass, it's pretty freaking great.
Oh yeah, definitely worth the money whenever it was on sale.
Yeah. So for Christmas, Lisa got me the Arkham Origins Collector's Edition with the big Joker statue and all that kind of stuff.
How big's big?
What now?
How big's big?
It's pretty freaking big.
Titanfall big?
The box was so big I didn't know if it was like an Xbox One or a PS4 or something like that. Like it's pretty, I didn't know what it was. But that's
was
how big
it
it was.
2 foot cubed?
No, I mean, it wasn't like IGN put that small girl inside the Titanfall box. It wasn't that big, but no, I mean, it's pretty good sized. But man, that game, for what it is, and it is, an off-year sort of game made by, it's almost like the Game Loft version of Batman Arkham City, right? But better quality than that.
Now,
But
which format?
I have it on PS3. So the thing that gets me is like, okay, Roger Craig Smith or whatever his name is, the guy that plays Batman, is he's pretty good. He's good enough, right?
Yeah. You don't think this isn't Batman?
Yeah, I mean it's a little jarring at first, but then you're like, okay, kind of, I get it. But man, the place where this game really shows that it isn't a mainline Arkham game is the dialogue. Like, as far as I know, Paul Dini didn't have anything to do with the scenario or anything. Like, in the beginning, Batman literally says to Alfred, it's something like, I just ran into a human-shaped crocodile who told me that Black Mask has hired assassins to kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painful.
Yeah, it's like a high school play written by one of the students.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I just got through the part with Copperhead, which was pretty cool. So, but I haven't played that for a couple weeks now. It's nifty. The only thing that I will say that I don't think that Eidos Montreal was as good at crafting a city where you can grapnel all over the place, because it seems like I have to drift way down in between the buildings before I can even hit the bumper to latch onto something. Mm-hmm. So.
But it does make it easy to get those achievements or whatever it is for gliding certain distances.
Oh yeah.
Because especially across the bridges, you have no choice.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of places that are artificially gated off and kind of forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like some rookie mistakes of people that hadn't worked on that many Arkham games.
I kept finding a bit where the place I needed to go to was the other side of a building, but instead of being able to go over it and straight, I had to go around it. And I'm like,
Yep.
Well, Batman wouldn't do that. He'd just take the straight route.
Mm-hmm. Or he'd bust through the window, roll inside, run down the hall, and go to the other side of the building.
Straight out the other window.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to understand that there's technical limitations and stuff like that, and I get that. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good game, and I want to finish it.
I mean, Arkham Origins wasn't even made by Rocksteady, so yeah.
Yeah.
I need to finish it at some point.
Yeah, you fucking have 10 minutes left. You got one battle, and you are done. You could go in right now, finish it. By the time we get, whenever I start talking, start playing, you'll be done by the time I'm done.
Exactly.
You know what it's like when you get to a stage in a game and you're too tired and you just can't play properly anymore. And you're like, okay, I'm going to have to call it a night for this. I'll go to bed and I'll play it. And I did that. And then the next day, I just didn't feel like playing it. And I haven't felt like playing it since.
Well, your problem is you didn't like the last battle.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass.
See, I never had a problem.
Right.
I think it was your AMD. I think it was because it's not made for AMD, right? It is an NVIDIA game.
Oh shit, we're gonna get into that too. Oh shit.
No, but it seems like for me, what game was it? I can't even remember. But one game, it was like a AMD game, and it keeps screwing up it kept giving me problems on my computer. But like the Origin game gave Dan a lot of problems because of his AMD, I think. Because he had a couple glitchy spots that I didn't have.
But obviously Titanfall, because it's got... I forgot the name of it.
You're not Mantle. You're talking about
yeah.
It is Mantle?
Yeah.
You're talking about the settings thing or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Has it got Mantle? No, perhaps I'm completely wrong. I'm completely wrong. I'm thinking Battlefield 4, aren't I? just delete all that.
No, I think it is Titanfall, though. I think he did have Titanfall do the setup. Yeah, because I think it made it better, you said.
Yeah, a bit, but I can't remember which game it was now. Okay.
We'll come back to him by the end.
All right. Anyway, Lisa and I got new Moto X phones. Motorola had Moto X's for a penny with a new 2-year contract. So We were due, and we went on Motorola site, customized them, pick the color of your front plate, pick the color of your back plate, pick the color of your buttons, have your name put on the back, have your name put on the screen when you start it up.
They just had somebody in the back as soon as you're like getting it. They're like, okay, what's this? Put this, slap it on.
Yep. No, I mean, it was really cool. Like I got mine with a black front, carbon fiber back, red buttons. It's really a sharp looking phone, but then I put an OtterBox over top of it anyway, so it didn't really matter. Really, really neat phone, snappy. It's only dual core, but it has sort of independent hardware. An actual graphics chip, an actual, CPU and everything. Was so not being system on a chip, it's pretty snappy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice phone. The Razer Max was getting a little long in the tooth, but as far as I'm sticking with Motorola stuff for a long time to come.
I love my Droid phones.
Yeah. And I'm sticking with Samsung. But on the whole note of phones, a friend of mine, Batch, the founder of Destination Gamer, I don't know if you guys know, he's just posted on his site, and he's asking the question, Android or iOS? And so I voted, the only person that's voted, and I've gone for Android. Yeah. And he wants to know why, and obviously I've told him why. And would you ever consider going to iOS?
No, I hate being handcuffed. No. I like a different keyboard a software keyboard if I want it. I like a different browser if I don't want it. I love the customizability of Android, and now I'm so invested in it. Even though that my Gmail address could maybe be considered the mark of the beast, I've taken it for better or worse. So
I think he only likes handcuffs if they're fuzzy.
Yeah, that's all.
Or has the key.
But sort of the reason why I said about that Moto X, I built a new computer, I got a new phone.
Yeah.
So both of those played into the fact that I already have Diablo III packed away because I bought the physical disc whenever it came out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I figured, okay, well, what the hell? I'll just log on to Battle.net. I'll log into my account, and I'll download the install files, and then I'll log in and I'll play a little bit of Diablo 3 just to kind of wet my whistle and try to keep me from spending $40 on the expansion, or make me want to spend $40 on the expansion a million times more, right?
Yeah.
Which probably the latter that happened, and it kind of did. But I logged on to Battle.net, went to log in, couldn't verify it because I transferred everything over. I don't think that my app on my phone was really synced with the key string that I should be inputting. So every time I logged in, it wouldn't let me finish the login. So then I had to disable that app from my account, and then.
Is that the Authenticator app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to disable that. Then I had to scan my driver's license in order to get them to do that, so I could reauthorize an authenticator, so that I could then get in there to download Diablo 3 to log in to play.
I had a similar issue with StarCraft 2.
Yeah, what a nightmare.
Mainly because I couldn't remember my logins and tried to log in too many times. But
I was pissed. But and Lisa said, "You mean you got?" She said, for a fucking game, you scanned your driver's license to send it to him? I said, well, I spent $60 on it. What do you want me to do? I either play it or I don't play it. So, but by the way, Loot 2.0, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I actually re-downloaded the game and everything. It's on my computer. I just need to go back and start playing. And
dude,
to answer... Good.
You actually get level appropriate gear now. So the thing that was missing in Diablo of, oh god, this is a little bit better than what I had, and then every 5 seconds that happens now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Diablo's kind of back.
Weren't you? I think you were saying you're every time you got an item, you always opened up the inventory to look at it and see what the stats were and everything.
I mean, before with the Real Money Auction House, it was oh great, I'm level 32, and that's a level 27 piece of gear.
Yeah.
So you had to go into the Real Money Auction House to buy what you wanted, and that's just, I'm sorry, it's just not fun.
Yeah. And to answer your whole thing about the authenticator and everything, because Teflon just did this, I was talking to him the other night whenever he was started using Battle.net or whatever, and he got the authenticator, and it says, whenever you go to get it, it says to keep a code or whatever they give you if you do transfer to another phone.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure everybody skips over that.
Yeah,
No, I did that, but could I find it? Because that was the issue when I switched phones. And
yeah. Well, see, I used
Actually,
Motorola Mobility has their own transfer app. So I downloaded the app on my Razr Max and on the Moto X and transferred everything, Wi-Fi.
I just realized I hadn't replaced my phone. It's when I replaced the screen on my phone. And it came back completely blank and reinstalled everything. And of course, now it's a different version of the software or whatever. There's a different ID. There shouldn't be a different ID. I mean, it's the same hardware. It's going to have the same MAC address and all that crap.
Yeah.
Well, it was the same phone. It was definitely the same phone. It had the same marks in places from where I dropped it. So, okay, I hadn't taken it apart and marked the. But you wouldn't change like the PCB in a phone just to change the screen, would you? So
yeah.
but
no, Diablo was cool. It was good, and I thought about like throwing it out there on Facebook that Jacob wants Reaper of Souls for his birthday, but I thought the couth and the tact that went along with that would be a little bit lacking if I did that. So
he'd have a few years to wait until he was old enough to play
it. He really loves loot, man. But no, I built a new PC right around tax time. I built an APU machine, Kaveri, the top of the line A10 7850K unlocked APU with integrated R7 graphics. So I put 16 gigs of RAM in it, and I think it was what was it? Let me look at the box. I have the box right here.
What speed of the RAM was it? Because apparently that does start making a difference when you're using the APU chip.
It was 21. See, because I
pretty swift RAM then.
Yeah, I screwed up and I bought 2400.
Yeah.
But I went back and bought 2160 or whatever. I'm trying to look for the boxes here right now, but I don't see them.
Yeah, I still need to get RAM for my computer.
I'm pretty sure mine's 16 gigs of 1600.
Yeah. No, I bought a gigabyte F2 A88XM, the Bolton motherboard, and a gigabyte R7 260X 2 gig GDDR5 overclocked WindForce card. And the heat pipe just barely clears the top of my home theater PC case.
Cool. So I'm just thinking, the one thing that's really going to help those the APU chips fly is the fact that more and more companies are joining in the old DDR4 race.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that becomes affordable, and there are more motherboards that support it, that's really going to make a difference, isn't it?
Well, and this is I think maybe even the bigger thing is that maybe just a little insight onto resolution gate between the two new consoles, which has been reignited by trials of all of all games, right?
Yeah.
Just before I put the discrete card in, I played around for about a week with the APU itself, and I could get a pretty good performance out of most last gen games. Like I'm talking like Borderlands 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Games such as that. BioShock Infinite. Just certain games like that.
Yeah.
Out of the APU at 720p with some stuff turned on. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Vanilla 1080p, which I think is probably what we're going to see out of a lot of these new consoles. A lot of these games is starting to be a trend now where they're going to give you one or two graphical options.
The standard, isn't it?
1080p. Yeah. Which is good. I'm all for that. But the way that RAM works, DDR3 sort of moves smaller chunks of data faster.
Yeah.
Whereas GDDR5 moves larger chunks of data slower, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that as far as that goes, I saw a big difference and a big jump from when I installed the discrete card with GDDR5 as opposed to just the APU with using the system RAM of DDR3. Pretty big increase, man. Obviously the GPU is a lot better anyway, but it was crazy to go into Borderlands 2, and you know how as the camera sort of pans around, you can change your graphical settings. And just to watch, I could literally with my eyes see the frame rate change as I checked on and off things. With the APU. Now it's pretty much just maxed with the 260X, which I think I got for $110 or something like that. You know,
it was like that. Well, as I was building my machine, and I had Borderlands 2 with my old rig, and I could play it on pretty much the minimum settings, and I tried doing stuff, and it getting slower and slower and slower. But of course, when we can build our DDR4 rigs with that as the RAM as the main RAM rather than the video RAM, you're looking at the clock frequency on that, and data transfer rates are much better. I mean, like DDR2 DDR3 goes something like 800 to 2,133 million transfers per second. DDR4, it's 2,133 to 4,266.
Yeah, see that's where I think you're going to bridge the gap between GDDR5 and DDR3.
And it runs at a lower voltage, so you're going to be saving.
Well, see, and that's where I screwed up was the motherboard. I looked at so many motherboards and things because there were a bunch that out of the box did not work with Kaveri, which is crazy to even think of. But I looked at so many that some accepted 2400 megahertz RAM.
Yeah.
But some only accepted 2133, but you could overclock it to 24.
Yeah.
It was I ran into that, and I had to return the 24 and buy the 2133
and those motherboards that take the 2400, they're not the cheap ones, are they?
No, they're not. No.
They're the the ROG versions and like the stupidly expensive ones that I'd love to have but could never afford.
But I threw a 256 gig Samsung 840 Evo in solid state drive. Which
I've got that.
Let me tell you, oh my god, the boot to Windows 8 start screen is so blazingly fast. It's not even funny.
Well, I've played around with it. Well, I say play. I fixed a few people's computers using 8.1, and even with a regular platter hard drive, HDD, it's still pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
But the difference I've seen on my Windows 7 going from crappy old HDD, and I do mean a crappy old HDD, to something that reduced my system performance on the Windows check thing, which I do now and then just to see what it is. It brought it down to like 4.6, and now I've got this drive in, and it's not the best, it's not the fastest, but it's at the right price point.
Yeah,
and that's got my operating system on it now, and it's so much quicker to boot up. It's ridiculous.
It's a damn good drive, man.
I'd love to try it with 8.1, apart from the fact that I can't afford 8.1, and I'm still a little bit wary about it because I've been trying it on people's computers that I fix, and it doesn't feel right.
I kind of like it. I've kind of got to the point where I like it.
How long does that take?
I bought that netbook. It wasn't a netbook, but it was a tablet with the dock for Lisa for Christmas.
Yeah, for Christmas, yeah.
And I love it on a touch interface. So it was just a matter of me figuring out where everything was, where the charm bar was, where all that stuff, up in the corners where I can instead of swiping between desktop and app and stuff like that. But being able to install legacy apps and clip all that to the start screen, I'm totally fine with it. Like I reinstalled Photoshop CS3 and stuff, the copy that I have, and boot into Photoshop in 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds. It's pretty fantastic. Sweet. Yeah.
I'm thinking that if I do go down the 8.1 route, I might have to invest in, and it's not a huge investment, it's about $70 for Leap Motion.
Yeah.
So I could emulate having a touch screen.
Yeah.
That could be the prime point for having a Leap Motion.
Yeah. I kind of dig 8.1. It's okay. I'm anxious to see boot to desktop, and I'm anxious to see if the start menu ever comes back. I'd like to see it.
You can get them back, and boot to desktop is doable.
Yeah, I know. I just hate to do that crap. I wish they'd just bite the bullet and admit that it needs it and be done with it.
Well, they probably will, but we won't see it until 9.
I know. Oh well, but anyway, that's. I know I've been up to a lot of crap, and I go ahead, Gary, because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to a suck up all the battery from my headset and B suck up all the time on the podcast.
I haven't been helping terribly, sorry.
It's actually been. Well, I mean, you haven't been on in forever, so you should be talking. I'm sure people miss your voice.
I don't know about that, but
I do. I haven't spoken to you for ages.
All right. Well, I have been barreling through Castlevania Lords of Shadow. If this podcast was recorded tomorrow, I'd probably have it finished. But
it's long, dude. It's long.
Oh my god! Whenever I started playing, I was like, I was thinking more of I played Mirror of Fate HD and beat that. And I was thinking, hey, maybe it'll be like that because I spent 11 hours on that, and I'm already at 21 hours on Lords of Shadow, and I'm at the end of chapter 10. So there's 4 more chapters because it has 14 in total, and I will hopefully have that finished tomorrow because I'm probably gonna play more tonight if I don't edit this tonight or whatever.
Well, if for some reason that you stall out and you don't finish it, at least look up the ending on YouTube. The ending is worth every bit of banging your head against the wall and brute forcing your way through that game. The ending is awesome.
I remember what Gary said the first time he started playing it, and his first words were, "Oh my god, so many chapters."
Well, the thing was it was okay at the first chapter because it had I don't even know what you call it, 5 missions in the first chapter, and then the second chapter had 10 plus missions, and I was looking, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna take me 80 hours to complete. And then I got to the third chapter, it's 2 or 3. I was like, oh, thank god. There's been a bunch of those, couple chapter, the one chapter only had 2, but there's a couple that have 3 or 4. And it seems like that's 4 is about as low as 3 is as low as it's getting right now because I just did chapter 9 or 8 that had 3 in it, but it's 4 or 5's kind of the basic structure you're going with for mission wise. But I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. It feels so much like God of War in so many ways, and then you got the music that kind of feels like God of War, the kind of God of War thing. It's like da 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 da. It has that same beat to it. It's sometimes it just felt like I'm Kratos. But I want a replica of that goddamn vampire killer. Oh, it's so good. What they did with the whip.
It's pretty good.
What they did with the whip in the Lords of Shadow games, just so cool. I actually expected to be Dracula by now, but apparently I'm not. So I'm guessing it's an end thing, and then you get to play Dracula in the second one. I don't know. But
will you just play the game and quit second guessing yourself? Just play the game.
Well, the game. The thing is that whenever I saw Lords of Shadow, I swear to God that people were saying, or I saw that, it was you play as Dracula. I was like, oh, that's weird. That should be cool. I didn't know you played as, Gabriel before he became Dracula.
Oh, man. Come on. All you have to do is just play through it and don't expect much and just try to finish the game and then you'll have it all figured out. You'll figure it all out.
Well, the thing that started all this is I played Mirror of Fate and I was like, man, I want to play Lords of Shadow now. So I started that, and now I think I'm gonna have to get Lords of Shadow 2 whenever it's on sale, because I really am enjoying the game. It's really awesome.
I don't know. I mean, all you need to know is that Captain Picard's in it and Rumpelstiltskin's in it.
The first time I heard that I heard that. I was like, oh my god, it's Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, and what's his name? Rush because Robert Carlyle, who was Rumpelstiltskin on Once Upon a Time, was also Rush in Stargate Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love his voice. His voice.
Robert Carlyle is a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I actually knew nothing about him before Stargate Universe. And then he was in Once Upon a Time whenever Corey
He was in Stargate Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him in that. He's been in better stuff.
He's like one of the main characters in it. He is like I wouldn't say he's the main character, but he's like second or third main character in the whole thing. He's in almost every single episode.
Perhaps I should watch that again sometime.
How the hell did you not notice?
It was gone way too soon.
But other than Lords of Shadow, the other night I was like trying to figure out, what do I want to play? So I'm sitting on here with Dan, and I was like, like literally, this is how my finding a game to play other than like some that I don't want to spend a lot of time in. I go into my Steam library and I scroll through the like 200 games that I have, and I'm like, nope. I'll come back to you. Nope. And then I finally chose to do Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Oh my god!
I spent like 2 hours just making a stupid theme park.
There's no end to that game. You can't get.
But literally, I was just building or placing rides and food stands and help desk and first aid place. It was just,
oh my god!
Like,
you're not going to get a victory achieved for that game, sir.
I know, but like there are just games that I just I don't want to think. I just switch my brain off and just kind of go with the motion of playing it. And I sat there for like 2 hours just kind of going through. I was like, oh my god. And there's people throwing up all over my park, and I like place a whole bunch of waste bins around, and I have to send the janitors to go clean up like this trail of puke.
Oh boy.
But it's fun to go into for a little bit. And I really haven't played that much this week. Wolf Among Us.
Reminded me of, you just reminded me of a time I went to Chessington World of Adventures, and they have this ride there called the Juggler, and it's a bit like a Wurlitzer, only, well, there's this thing in the middle with like 8 arms coming out of it, and then they split into more arms, and there's like 4 carriages on each one, and you've got this thing that looks like a round tea tray that you can control how much or how little it spins.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go on this, and unbeknownst to me, the person that was on the ride previously in the car next to mine had vomited. So as we're spinning around, all I can smell is vomit. And I'm there thinking, I'm really not feeling so good now.
Chunk got you.
The guy that's on it with me, he keeps spinning the thing round to make it spin faster, and they go, oh no, the smell's bad enough, but oh no. We get off, and I can't walk in a straight line because it's been spinning so fucking much. And everyone's like, "You all right, Dan? You look a bit green." I was like, "Yeah, smell the one next to the one I just got out." And they're like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been dealing with that, and this arsehole who keeps spinning the I'm never going on this ride ever again."
We have a ride kind of like that. It's called the Spider. It spins
the old
around
Monongahela Monster. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but
roller coasters, doesn't matter how high, how fast, what they do, I'm fine with them. But spinny things like that, with the smell of vomit permeating the air, no.
I was totally waiting for you to say, and then the ride stopped, and my first step off, I stepped in the parts of the vomit that landed on the ground. And Dan standing on his dick. Where's your dick? It's on the bottom of your shoe.
But yeah, like one of my one ride I really like it in Pennsylvania or by Pittsburgh we have is Kennywood, and it's called the Exterminator. And you get in like this mouse and everything, or rat or whatever, and then you go through it.
Dude.
You don't
can
like
have
it?
that shit, dude. Nope.
But it goes and there's one part it goes around corners, it like fucking flings you around, and then there's other parts where it like the rat just goes free spin, just you spin anyway, all the way around everywhere. And we went during, they have this thing called Fright Night during October and everything. And they turn all the lights off in the ride. So you don't know when shit's coming, but you just start spinning and you're not holding on or whatever. And you hit the wall. You fly across the other side. You hit the person next to you. It's horrible. Oh, that would kill you.
Yeah, you could have that shit.
Yeah. That ride's a lot of fun. I like that one. But anyway, off of roller coasters and theme parks. Actually, I haven't done anything of the, because this one, Platinum, comes with the water parks and the zoo stuff. Haven't done anything with that crap. But, also, got Dan to mention, The Wolf Among Us Episode 3. That game is really, really good. I love that game so much. Damn Dan for making me get in. Now I have to wait again for the next episode. But
that's the main problem. The wait is slightly too long.
Well, this time's been okay. It's been a month, but from the first,
you guys are going to retread this water again.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay, we won't.
Sorry, the wait is so long.
if the other two IPs they're working on were out and they're all spaced between them, that would be fine.
I know.
That's a good segue. Talking about their other two games, Game of Thrones. They had the season 4 just started last Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you finally decided to start watching it.
Yeah, so we started watching because they had a gigantic marathon.
Yeah. And you know what the first thing Gary asked me? Is it alright if I missed the first 5 episodes?
Because they were running... Yeah, because they were running it on... they were running a marathon. And I asked them, because, they're already 4 in. I was like, so will it be okay? He's like, no, you have to watch from the beginning. But I can't. They're on the 4th one. And I was like, you know what? I'll go on demand and see if they have them. They have every single episode because they ran the marathon. So me and the wife have been watching every single one.
Was I right?
Yes.
You can't.
Because people die in the first 5 episodes. So it's like, oh.
Yes. Yeah.
People die all the time. And speaking of people dying...
Hey, that was an accident.
Oh, no, we're not even to you yet.
All right.
You wait your turn, mister. But anyway, so I start watching the first fucking episode of Game of Thrones, and my dad walks in, and he's like, oh, that guy's still alive. Fuck you, Dan. Fuck you. I was like, no, I didn't care too much about the first one because, people die, and this guy's like a main character in the show.
The first episode's all a setup.
And I don't know anything. So.
It becomes much more important.
Yeah,
than you think it's going to be.
But
really, when your parents know more about Game of Thrones than you do. I don't even know what to tell you to do. I mean, there has to be a toilet on that floor of your house. You should probably go stick your head in
it. Actually, where I live, there is not a toilet.
Now then, walk upstairs or walk downstairs. One of the two.
Upstairs.
And, there's no further downstairs.
Yeah, but my dad watches a lot of those like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he only watches TV. He doesn't, do any games or anything else like that. And plus, since he's retired from the post office, he works now as a security guard, and he can take like a computer with him and watch TV on his computer while he's at work. So he can do whatever he wants. So he spoils that, and then a week later, well, not even a week later, I think it was yesterday, wasn't it, Dan? Right?
It was yesterday or the day before. It was an accident. I thought you were further along.
No, I'm not even to you yet. Hold on. Right. So my dad walks in again and goes, "Oh, that guy's still alive. What the hell?" Like a guy that I never expected to die this time apparently is going to die in a later episode. So I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you watched it." I was like, "No, I didn't watch it. I told you last week that I haven't watched an episode yet. We're just starting it. Why?" So right after that, not even in 5 minutes, I got 2 spoilers. Dan goes, "Oh,
it was an accident. I'm really sorry."
It's like, did you get to the point where this person dies? No, I haven't gotten there, Dan.
Oh my god.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why? Why is everybody spoiling Game of Thrones for me? So
You might as well buy the Cliff Notes, probably.
So, like, actually...
Everyone dies, okay?
Apparently the bad people don't die. But, well, they will eventually, I'm sure. But, yeah, like, I'm actually to the episode where Dan says the person dies, so I'm guessing she's going to die this or next episode. So
I can't even remember which person it was that I said by mistake. It was actually terribly sorry.
I'm not going to spoil it for other people. But Game of Thrones is really good. There's so much violence. It's so good. Like, just watching somebody like slowly stab a sword through somebody else's spine and watch them die, it's horrible. So good, though. Oh, and whenever the first guy that my dad said is like, oh, that guy's still alive. Whenever he dies at the end of season 1, I went back because they cut his head off, and I went back in slow motion, watched them cut his head off. Because
that's a normal, sane thing to do.
Well, I like that kind of stuff because I went back for enemy.
Because I'm sick and twisted.
Yeah, but no, like watching the CG, like what they do for the effects for it. Like for Enemy at the Gates, this is a spoiler for anybody. Yeah,
no spoiling. No,
you haven't seen Enemy at the Gates.
I don't know.
Man, that movie's a classic. If it's
I'm afraid that you're going to spoil something.
Yeah.
It is good. It's spoiled. I'm not going to name names, but somebody gets shot in the eye.
Yeah, the kill shot. I know the shot you mean. Yeah.
And I went back, like, this was years ago, and I was on, like, 16 or whatever.
Yeah,
whenever I watched it. Yeah. Yeah, and I went back and I slow motion watched it, and like the guy's like eye explodes or goes into his, like the bullet goes into his eye and everything explodes, and it was so cool. So I think that was the first one that I actually did that, and I like you can't really tell with Game of Thrones because you see the sword, but it does show it like going through his neck. So.
Boy.
So since you were 16 and you did that, you've been a sick and twisted individual.
I know. I've probably been like that a lot longer.
And he wears a Bane mask to work.
Golful.
Oh, golful. All right.
Anyway, we better hurry this along because I know certain people are worried about the length of their battery, and I can plug mine in from here, so it's not too much of an issue. But
Yep. Yeah, but I was just about to finish it up anyway. Alright, so that'll do it for our games and life for this this segment. We will take a little break, be back, and I think it'll be news time. So we'll be back in a little bit.
Game of Thrones, bitch, 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 Game of Thrones. Tits, sex, bloody violence, Game of Thrones. Incest, there's a midget, Game of Thrones. Kings come in the kingdom, Game of Thrones. Walking many miles, many more, doing it doggy style with whores.
Alright, so we are back and it is news time. God, that sounds so gay.
It's news time, everybody.
And I feel
Bring any good news
fabulous. And my sexuality knows no bounds.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Bring any good news today?
Hey, mostly on paper boy.
Well, I'm gonna take the first one, and it's not like it's really news. This week isn't too newsy. Next week will probably be more with packs going on and everything. A lot of these are just kind of fun little things. Like this one actually says Diablo III Reaper of Souls Game Boy version isn't always online.
It should be news.
So this guy from South Korea called Laptic, he decided to create the box art, the cartridge, which isn't, the cartridge wasn't too hard, because he just took kind of the front of the box and put it onto that, but it looks really good. And he put it into, like, you know, he put it in Game Boy. Oh, and he made the manual for it as well. But, like, none of this is...
Did he actually make the game?
No. Like, if you read through the article, it says, like, he puts the game in, and he turns it on, and it comes up on the Nintendo screen. Everyone can go to the link and see this, but he actually photoshopped everything that is on the screen, and it looks really good.
Oh,
Photoshopping because he used the old, like, the first original Game Boy, and it has the green back
green
screen and everything.
Yeah.
And he photoshops, like, the start menu and the like overworld kind of thing. It just looks so funny, and I really want it. Oh man, but it does look really good. I don't really have anything to say about it. I just wanted people to know that this thing, or the thing the guy did, because it's pretty cool. Anybody else have anything on that? No?
No, not really.
Apart from, I must remember to dig my Game Boy out at some point, because it's here somewhere. And,
I think I am going to have to go back and buy, like, the old Game Boy, because my first Game Boy was Game Boy Color. Just to have that big-ass thing. I think my cousin actually had the original.
It was a great system for its time. Obviously, it was quickly
the first real good handheld, yeah.
Well, I think the Game Gear was better, but because it was so much more expensive, no one really bought it.
Well, that didn't come out before the Game Boy, right?
No, but it came out in the same decade.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about
the original Game Boy.
I had Game Gear the year after my first original Game Boy, so...
Use the original Game Boy as, like, an item in a stealth game to conk somebody over the head and knock them out. Thing was huge, and it took, like, 16 AA batteries, man.
4.
And chewed through them.
They weren't that. Actually, they lasted quite long, but not long enough, so I did end up getting the recharge battery pack, which was like a massive, like a sticky bun or the biggest turd you've ever seen with a leak.
No, man,
but it's nothing like the Game Gear with 8, you know.
I was going to say I only had one thing that took more batteries than that, and that was my first Magnavox portable CD player that took 8 AA batteries, and if you breathed on it, it skipped.
Oh.
And it had its own, like, messenger bag style, slung low on the hip sort of soft bag to go with it. Oh,
you just reminded me of my first portable CD player. It came with a charger and rechargeable batteries. They lasted for a good 2-3 albums.
Yeah.
It kind of had a bit of memory on it, so it would kind of pre-read it, and you could have a bit of jogging, but not a huge amount.
Oh.
But it came with such a wonderful album. It was Phil Collins, both sides of the story.
Oh, my God. You had it better than I did, because all I know is I heard over and over again, "In the cold November rain," and then the batteries would die. Click, gone.
Yeah, but speaking of that, we just found my parents' first DVD player we ever got, one of the portable ones. This thing's so big. And I'm actually, I just picked it up and trying to see what type of batteries, or how many batteries it took, because this thing was huge.
Do you know something really freaking cool you can do with that? You can open it up, take it apart, get rid of all the DVD bullshit, leave the screen, and put in a Raspberry Pi. And there's a small keyboard you can get that'll fit into the case, and make yourself a tiny little laptop.
Oh, really?
Or
that's the best
podcast, okay, convert it to a WAV file, burn it on a CD, and listen to the Tangent Cast on a 20-year-old CD player.
Well, no, because you've got to rip all the CD stuff out of it to put the bits in.
They probably wouldn't even work.
You could listen to it as an MP3 with.
Yeah.
So,
Oh well. Anyway, I didn't mean to.
Nice.
Okay, can't take the next piece of news.
Okay, well, the next bit, I admittedly knew nothing about it until about 2 minutes ago. And, oh my God, it looks amazing. It is basically Black Desert, not desert, desert. And it's a Korean MMO. And the article's something along the lines of, why is this MMO better than the crap we get? And I've just had a look at the trailer. Well, most of the trailer. The trailer's 4 minutes long. Haven't had time to watch all of it. I'm about 1.5 minutes through. The combat looks amazing. It's so fluid and dynamic and very visceral. Well worth checking out if we could even get hold of it over here.
Yeah.
I guess you could. It's going to release sometime later this year on PC, apparently. But the character creation system, that's absolutely fantastic. They have these. I can't quite count because the video's quite quick. Well, the GIF's quite quick. But that's 1, 2, 3. About 30 different areas of the face, if not more, that you can change individually. Obviously, the height of the eyes, stuff like that. But even how much, not the size of the eyes, but how open they are, and all the other normal stuff you'd expect, and huge, absolutely brilliant skin tones. It looks absolutely fantastic. And the question is, why the hell don't we get stuff like this over here?
Well, it's like the Monster Hunter online thing that we're hoping to get, because that's going to be awesome.
Well, you know what it seems like to me, just by looking at the screen layout, it reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles. Kind of.
Yeah.
Just by looking at the screen layout, like if it was a controller, it would be left and right to select the skill, activate it, cooldown, back and forth.
But have you looked at the character creation page?
No.
It's amazing. It really is. And it just, we've talked about Elder Scrolls Online. There are some certain people that we know and talk to a lot over on TeamSpeak that have bought it and are really enjoying it. But Gary and I kind of got burnt out by the beta. And of course, you can't really compare the final release and the beta. But
yeah,
considering
it looks cool.
The last time we played it was 2 weeks out of from release. I'm not entirely sure it's going to be huge amount of difference in a lot of stuff we played.
Apparently, Scotsman's enjoying it and everything. But I don't know.
I had a chat with him and I said, I'm kind of looking forward to it going free to play. And he goes, oh, God, I hope he doesn't do that, because then we're not going to get the quality of extra stuff and all that.
Oh, yeah. Well.
But, I just can't. That
looks cool, though.
But, yeah, that Black Desert, that looks absolutely astonishing. The developers are Pearl Abyss, and... yeah, just check the stuff out. I'm sure Gary will put the links in. The character creation thing is in the link from the main article. Well worth checking out. And yeah, it looks absolutely astonishing. The only thing I'm worried about slightly is if they don't get the regionalization right and the dialogue ends up becoming nonsensical because they've just used Google Translate. That But I doubt that'll happen, because...
You could just listen to your favorite podcast and turn the music down and the sound effects down. That's fine.
But you wouldn't have a clue what was going on with the damn story.
Guild Wars, I've barely ever turned the volume up anyway, so doesn't much matter. Anyway. Oh,
I enjoyed a lot of those stories.
Yeah.
And the new one should be starting soon. I might give it a go again.
If it didn't start last week, it's starting this week.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to the next piece of news. I think it's just hilarious that Steve actually gets on when I have this piece of news, because I remember in an old episode, Steve...
Zynga Diablo.
Yeah, Steve does not like this company called Zynga. And, Zynga CFO, Mark Vranesh, I guess that's his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Vranesh, that seems right.
He's going to be leaving the company next month, so in May.
Woohoo!
Here's all you need to know, okay? Zynga CFO, Zynga GTFO, next story.
But yeah, it says he'll be leaving next month, and he's been working with, which everyone loves this guy from, or he used to be with Xbox, Don Matrick.
Rat Boy.
I remember that.
Yeah. Rat Boy, little Nicky. Mom, is that you? Now this last one, the Virtuix Omni treadmill. I had mentioned this to Greg, and he said that he thought that the prototype was at E3 the year him and I went. I don't remember it.
Oh, really? Well, that was years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we on that one now?
This would be, I don't know, I just kind of jumped ahead. That's my fault. Because who wants to talk about Zynga? So, that treadmill solves my problem with VR. Is how do you walk into a wall, or how do you stand there and march and not walk? But it's still, I don't know how much it solves the problem.
Now, I saw a prototype of it. I wasn't allowed to use it last year at Eurogamer.
Yeah.
And there's no resistance if you walk into a wall. You'll just keep walking and not going anywhere. But at least you can feel like you're more into the game, especially combined with, as it's designed for, I guess, to go in conjunction with something like Oculus Rift. That would be absolutely fantastic, because you would feel a hell of a lot more like you're in the game world.
I get that, but how much are you really going to spend on virtual reality when you could just go be in reality for free?
Yeah, but you can't really go into reality for free and reenact yourself and be a person killing dragons or...
But you got that big helmet on. You have a hood, like a VR hood, right?
No, it's not a VR hood. It's like a pair of goggles. And I didn't have any issue. I only used it for about 10 minutes. I had no issue with the Oculus Rift and the weight and the feel of it. It soon kind of disappeared whilst I was lost in the world. It was absolutely fantastic.
I don't know, man. I think I'd be rolling my ankle or something. Something would happen, something stupid, and then I wouldn't be able to go to work. And they were like, "What were you doing?" And
I was playing video games.
I fell over a toy.
On my dick.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yep.
I tripped over a knee-high wall in a video game, and
my dick looked like a necktie because from stepping on it all the time. Fell. And broke my arm or rolled my ankle or...
But now I can tie it into this. Oh, God, go home. Don't ever show us that again.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see if the price of $500 or if the price of whatever, if they can actually hit it and it actually works. I don't know. We'll see.
You think like if it works like a treadmill really well and I can use it to lose weight while playing games.
Yeah, that's what Lee, who was on the show last week, said when we saw it. In fact, when he's been looking at it, he's like, "This is amazing. I can run around and say you're playing a game like GTA or something, and you can actually be running around, and the quicker that you run on it, the quicker your character moves, and it'd be a great way for losing weight. Although it would possibly." Turn you into cannon fodder if you were playing something like Battlefield 4 and you were incredibly unfit.
Yeah, well, I don't think it would work for those type of games. Those are too...
Oh, it does work for those kind of games.
It just seems like you'd be, like, trying to move or whatever. I mean, I think it would just be you walking somehow and, like, you still hit the button to sprint, and you'll still walk the sprint, which may feel completely weird.
Because
I don't see you running on it.
The quicker that your feet move, the quicker you go. That's how it's designed. It's meant to be, almost like 1-to-1 input. So,
well, that sounds pretty cool then.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
But like,
the one that I think I saw at Eurogamer had this wooden. It was partly made out of wood, and it had this harness so that you couldn't. And you had to like duck under it to get into it, so that people. It looks like the new design. It's not going to happen, but the weird thing is the kind of slippers you have to wear or shoes, because they've got these little pads on the toes and heels, so that you can actually tell. It's a bit like using a stylus on a touchpad or whatever, so that you can tell where, or touchscreen, so it can tell where your feet are. Which is, it's kind of cool, but it's I guess, it's a step in the right direction. I saw a show ages ago called The Gadget Show over here in the UK, and they created something similar with an omnidirectional treadmill, and it was more like the traditional belt treadmill, but could go in any direction.
Yeah.
And they had Andy McNabb, the chap that wrote some books, and it was an ex-SAS agent, and no one knows what his real name is or what he looks like.
Jesus. Okay.
And they got him on, and they did the whole, pixelating his face stuff and changing.
Yeah.
And they set up something like the Virtuix Omni, and instead of the Oculus Rift, because that didn't exist at the time, they just had him surrounded by screens, massive screens, fairly high in this circular kind of room, and
sounds like like the IMAX.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. But to make it more realistic, they put paintball guns around him. So if he got shot from a certain direction, the paintball gun would shoot from that direction and hit him.
Oh God.
But because he was special forces and stuff like that, and he was playing the game and he plays a lot of video games, he was actually really good and barely got shot. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And I've seen those jackets you can get that are supposed to be meant to mimic the feel of a gunshot or whatever in the game, or give you some kind of input somewhere on your torso.
Just like put pressure on that spot that you got shot. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I think it's more like a sharp poke. So it's kind of you bastard.
I don't know, man.
You just get unloaded on. You have a heart attack or something from getting like pressure or getting all this pressure on your like chest and like where your heart is.
Yeah, but if you're lucky and you're playing a multiplayer game, perhaps they could defib you by shooting you in the chest.
That sounds like a special kind of Helen Keller fucked up something to do to somebody, man. That ain't right.
I mean, I don't know about. I like the fact that video games take me out of reality. And a friend Lee said, "Would you get a Virtuix Omni?" I said, "Yeah, if I can use it sitting down."
Well, let me just throw this out here as kind of like a final thought. I don't know how interested I am in virtual reality, period, because in order for me to be engaged, I have to have something on my head, then I have to have something on my ears, which means I don't know if my kid's okay, I don't know if my family's okay. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, virtual reality is not going to be too much of a reality, only in certain situations, and those situations are few and far between.
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that. But for people like me, who live on their own, I guess the only thing would be, what if the house is on fire?
Yeah.
It's getting a little warm in here.
Yeah, it might be getting warm in here, and there's nothing plugging my nose. Yeah. We don't have some kind of smell-o-vision yet. So.
Yeah, I know. You're like playing virtual Burning Rangers.
Yeah.
And
it smells like human flesh burning in here.
Yeah.
Why does my arm hurt? Man, this VR is excellent.
But Dan, you know if the house is on fire because your house is always cold. They're like, man, it's getting warm in here. Something's wrong.
Have I got the heating on?
Oh, God.
I can't. I haven't paid the bill.
Like, wow, the heating's finally working.
Are we done with the news?
Yeah, I think it's about kicked in the ass.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I'll just say this last thing about Zynga because Steve just went, fuck Zynga.
Don't do that now.
But yeah, like, this guy, Mark Vranesh, is working with Don Magic to find a new CFO. Yeah, Marcanix. Yeah, he's my arch nemesis for Victory Achieved because we're like hill on hill with this shit. And
at least for getting close.
At least for this quarter, we are like almost exactly tied. I think I'm a game ahead of him.
Okay, I'm probably not that close, but I'm closer than I've ever been.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever catch up to me. I have so many games done.
You play a lot of shit games, though.
Yeah, I do. But I enjoy playing my shit games. So, but yeah, let's see if there's anything else about this. Nope, that's it for Zynga. But, yep, that's it for the news. We're gonna go on another little break, and we will be back with the cleanup and get out of here. So we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, we are back, and we'll go into the quest of the week. We had one answer for it this week, which was...
Woohoo! That's
yeah.
100% more than last week. Actually, it's infinite percent more than last week.
Yeah, but it was, the question was, what are your thoughts on subscription-based MMOs? Actually, Steve answered it too, but since it's on the podcast, I guess I'll let him say what he said on there. But Teflon212 said at the Gamesmen RPG, don't mind subs if I really like the game, though I want to try it first for free. I think that's a fair trade. Hashtag TGM quest.
Yeah. I think it's a bit galling for them to charge full price of the game and a subscription on top.
Like, I can't say they do it right, but like World of Warcraft, they gave you the first month, or no, they gave you up to level 20 and stuff like that free now.
They didn't originally.
Yeah, they didn't originally.
Yeah, true.
Actually, originally,
but even with that, apparently, my brother, whenever I told him, like, oh, I want to kind of try out World of Warcraft, just see what it's about, and I played a half an hour and didn't like it. But he gave me a referral or something like that, so I could get the full game instead of like what they give you, because apparently what they give you is like, what he gave me was only a month. But which that is good. But what they give you doesn't show you like the good parts of the game. Apparently, if you play it at level 20, how they how they give it to you, because you don't get like the amount of content somebody that actually bought the game gets. So it kind of sucks. But Steve, you can mention what you said.
Now, the last subscription that I paid for was $7.95 a month for Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube. That was the last thing I did. Since then, I don't know. They're trying to double dip too much. I'm not paying $60 for a game and then paying monthly. At least, I would rather get it free and then pay a sub, but I still hate paying the sub. I would rather have a lifetime thing for $99 or something like some of the MMOs have done. But at least give me the game for $20. Yeah. I know, and that was the reason why I bought it, because I know, with my time schedule and everything, I can leave it and come back to it and not really feel all that bad about not being in that world for so long.
And for a lot of the time when you played it, you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. I spent so many. I've probably easily approached where I was with the original Guild Wars and all the expansions just with that game, in hours. But
yeah, don't talk about ours.
I know we're not going to go there, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of subscription-based stuff, but I'm also not a fan of being nickel and dimed. So I like to buy in once and be done with it, or have the option, let the whales pay and let me have my fun. So
yeah, I mean, like I could do subscription for a month or two. But I don't want to pay $15 every month for years, because that just adds up. Like how long my brother's been playing.
It gets ridiculous.
World of Warcraft,
expensive.
Yeah. Like my brother's been playing for at least 5 years. I'm sure it's been a lot more than that actually.
Perhaps they could do something where once you've paid a certain amount in subs, then you don't have to sub anymore. No one's tried that, I suppose.
Yeah, but like my brother's already paid over $200 plus on that, on the game, and then they have the expansions that you have to pay for that are $40 or whatever. So
maybe a model where if you pay $150, $200 in subs, then you don't have to pay any more and you get the expansions. I think a lot of people would go for them.
Yeah, like, I don't think you should pay for the expansions if you're paying monthly, because, if somebody just buys the game, they should pay for the game and then the expansions, and then they pay a subscription after because they came in late. But somebody that's been playing since the beginning shouldn't get charged for an expansion that you haven't, you've been paying for months, years, or whatever. Why should they charge you another $40?
Yeah. Well, it's new content. Loads of people worked on it and all that stuff. Would be their argument. Anyway, it's a tough call. We had 2 answers, I suppose, technically. I don't like it. Purely because I always feel that I have to be playing that to get my money's worth.
Yeah, that's the other big thing. But I think we'll get off of that, and our next, or our quest of the week for next week will be, because PAX East is happening right now as we're recording. For next week, what is your favorite news to come out of PAX East 2014? What story, maybe something new came out? I haven't looked at anything with PAX East yet, so I'm not sure about anything right now. But I'm sure that'll be in our news and stuff we'll be talking about next week. So let us know what you liked about it.
Yeah.
All right, so next we got clean up hashtag TGM checks. We want to know what you're playing every week with hashtag TGM check on Twitter. The first one is from Pebbles91010. She says, at the Gamesmen RPG, hashtag TGM check. Been playing Minecraft, Disney Infinity, and Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. All really awesome. I do want to play Gianna Sisters at some point. I do.
Yeah, she's really enjoying it. Like, she,
Yeah.
like you, stay up till like 1 a.m. playing it.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool.
Damn, he does that well. We should get him on more often.
Well, he did create the damn site and
Well,
podcast. We want him more. Those damn kids keeping us away from everything. All right, Dan, you can take next one. I'll take the last one.
Okay, well, next one up, we've got favourite of the show, Mr. NDRkey89. He says, at the Gamesmen RPG. Oh no, Steve's back! Hashtag TGM check. I'm still working on my second evil playthrough of Infamous Second Son.
Now, this is the first time that I have been legitimately jealous of a PlayStation 4 owner. This is the reason why I wanted to buy mine, but there was no point because it wasn't launched. So by the time I get mine, Infamous will probably be free on PlayStation Plus, so that's probably when I'll play it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Infamous. I know you played the other Infamous games. I actually still need to play those.
Oh, I love them.
Eventually.
I
Or
love
they'll
them.
be cheap. But the last one is from Teflon212, and he says, at the Gamesmen RPG, hashtag TGM check. Titanfall, Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, The Wolf Among Us, and Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate HD, and he was bitching at me about Mirror of Fate. He's like, I don't get it right now. I was like, you have to play it a little bit to get into it more. But that'll do it for the TGM checks, and now we're going to go under shoutouts, and we will start off with Steve.
All right. So thank you guys for having me on again. It was kind of nice. It was like slipping on an old comfy pair of tennis shoes, you know.
I was hoping you weren't going to say a comfy pair of condoms.
No, but, I mean,
So we're like lesbians?
if you're wearing a pair of condoms, you are a bad mother.
I bet are Irish. To be sure.
Meat spin. So. No, you guys, good job with the show and kind of keeping everything going, and good job with the editing. Actually, I'm surprised on a weekly basis that it sounds nice and clean and all that stuff, and it's up to pretty high standards.
You're the person I've always wanted the thanks from or respect from for that.
Yeah, no, it sounds good.
I always try to make it sound just like you did, and
always nice to get a compliment from an audio file.
Yeah, it sounds good. Other than that, Yoda the Third, I usually chat with him on the phone every now and then, and Greg DeLacy, and an old favorite of the show, Brandon Poole, Mr. Casino 31.
Yes.
Some good game talk, and they kind of give me the methadone I need to be away from doing stuff like this and be able to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks with them. But yeah. Other than that, and thanks to Yoda, because I traded away my old podcasting mic to him for these PS3 headphones, and they have been great for some late night gaming when I know that she is responsible for the kid and she can take care of him if he's crying.
The main issue we have is he hasn't figured out how to mute.
Yeah, well, you have to do that manually. Yeah, with that thing.
Yeah, I've got a hotkey. I just press enter and then it mutes. But
that's probably what he needs. Anyway, Dan.
For me, pretty short this week, actually. Thank you very much, Steve, for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear your voice, and your podcasting skills are still there, so you're sounding great, and you know exactly what to say and when to say it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Not getting too old.
Indeed.
I'm getting gray, man. The beard was really gray this year, man. I just
No, mine's still... Actually, it's been going more gingery with the sunlight, but there's no greys in there.
And your soul is going with it now. Never mind.
Gingers have souls.
No, I know.
The souls of everyone they meet. Yeah, and obviously Lee for last week's show. I know I shouted him out last week, but it was his first ever podcast, and I think he handled it really well. I hope to be getting him back on soon.
Yeah, you need to.
We popped that hardcore.
Yeah, he was good. I mean,
he popped it hardcore on his own. Like, he jumped right on top of it.
Yeah, we just kept talking so much. I think it was like pushing 4 hours, the recording. Gary did a great job editing that because there was a lot of stuff that it was like, oh, what do I keep?
It just went off to the side.
Yeah. But yeah, Kaz, what's his name? Guy on Twitter. I won a competition a few weeks
Really?
Yeah. Weird that, isn't it? And the prize was an AMD Reloaded bundle. It could have been bronze, gold, or silver, and I won 2 or 3 games. Actually, it might have been 4 games for gold. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I won it. The code actually, someone else won it as well on Twitter. And the code he gave me didn't work anymore, which he got from a company that said they were going to be fine. And the chap's name is Liam Biggs, known on Twitter as Casual LUK. So that's CAZ.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
LLUK. Brilliant site. Go check it out. Does a load of reviews and stuff, like unboxings and things like that.
Cool.
And I said to him, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not too bothered." And the other person that won's been sending him messages, and he's been replying to both of us because she always adds me in with the link. And he sent me a message the other day saying that really sorry about this. Is there anything between £10 and £15 that you'd like to have? And I said, I don't really know. I'll have a look. And then I saw at Green Man Gaming that with the 20% off discount, that brought it into the price range for the new Trials game. So I was like, well, I wouldn't mind that. And he's like, yeah, sure, okay, I get paid in a few days. Let me DM me then with the links and everything, and I'll get it for you. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sweet.
And yeah, I think that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, check out Casual UK. He's got his site and everything. Can't remember that at the moment. But yeah, well worth a look. And for those of you who love English accents, he is English.
Camera girl.
I was going to name no names, damn it.
We all know.
She hasn't said anything about Lee yet, so yet to find out. He's not. Anyway, Gary.
To my shout-outs, definitely Steve. Steve texted me around noon today, and I didn't see it till 1 because I was working on cars and shit earlier. But he's like, I can be on a podcast. Can you guys do it at 6? I was like, I will ask Dan. And I asked Dan. He's like, yeah, it should be fine. I was like, fuck yeah, we got Steve on. So, yeah, we're recording early because Steve has special needs and
yeah.
We're happy to oblige him. So
at least you didn't say Steve is special needs.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that till after I said it. I was like, oh crap. But yeah, we love Steve. We've been trying to have Steve on more often, and it feels good to have this podcast with the person who created it. Those many years ago.
It's nice to have the guy on that fucked it up.
No, I think that's me.
The one that fucked it up.
Oh well.
Yeah, I think.
I love the fact you didn't say no then.
I figured that would be hilarious. Just.
Yeah.
Next.
But yeah, Dan, for saying to being on, or to saying yes, he could actually do it after, he took time away from being at the pub or something, I'm sure.
No, I just went to the store and bought booze, so that's fine.
Okay. But shout out Yoda because I saw you got on Skype after you started recording. I was like, hey, we're recording now. You want to jump on or anything? Cricket. I never got anything from him. So.
Cricket.
It's like, damn. So.
mygirlgame.com. Crickets. Whatever that was.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Please hurt my eyes. Yeah, but I was hoping to get Jared on because he hasn't been on in a few weeks, and another week I guess we'll get him on. And wish off Steve again because since I have a short week and I have overtime to work and everything, now that I'm not editing this on Monday, I can actually get the editing done for tomorrow and actually work some overtime on Monday and not have to work like 3 hours extra overtime on Tuesday, Wednesday.
There you go.
And plus, we're supposed to be, I'll just make this shout. Boss Wave guys, hopefully this happens this week because we just had.
Oh, shut up about it already. Just hang it up.
I think after this week, if it can't happen, it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to stop. But hopefully the console PC show actually happens because Seth's
just scared.
It's not like somebody's going to win. At least how I want it to go. God, but yeah, hopefully this PC console show happens. Not last week, the week before, or no, this week wasn't their fault because they had something else to do. Or this week and last week, Seth was doing some like video recording TV stuff or whatever, so they couldn't do it, and Scott couldn't get on the last week, and actually no, you couldn't do anything, Dan. So. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it for my shoutouts.
The end.
Scoot.
Yeah. And I guess Dan wants Steve to do the cleanup, so sorry. The web for the week to come. Where are you gonna be, Steve?
Jsslifelike, pretty much everywhere. That's PSN, that's Xbox Live. Well, that's never mind Xbox Live. Steam, Twitter, Skype, but probably not a lot of those places. Probably Twitter would be the best place because it alerts me on my phone, or jsslifelike@gmail.com, as the mortgage broker has been blowing me up lately, trying to get all this stuff done and submitting forms and all that stuff. So probably Gmail and Twitter are the best ways to get a hold of me.
And I'm guessing those are on the times that you won't be on DIAPDUTY.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that. Of course, with him having his hands in my mouth all the time, I think I got this lower GI thing where I need a DIAPER of my own somewhere. Yeah. But that's where I'll be, Dan.
As ever, I am Hardlydan everywhere, apart from Skype and Facebook, because I got to keep something personal. There is a Hardlydan on Skype, but I never remember the login, so I don't even bother trying. Twitter is probably the best place to get hold of me because, obviously, like Steve, it goes straight to my phone, and that's what's always next to me or in my pocket, and actually, I tend to get them on my watch, so. Yeah. Gary.
I feel like the bastard child that nobody loves because I don't have one single.
Well, that'd be about right.
Just make up some different numbers.
Yeah, that's how it has to go. But
Nintendo ID 271364894. Oh shit, that's my account number.
But yeah, I am Amorous. 89_8912890289. Everywhere. Amorous_89 is Skype and Steam, and those are two of my biggest ones. If I'm not, I try to be on Skype even though nobody cares, and we normally talk to people on TeamSpeak anyway. Amorous1289 is my Wii U, and tomorrow I should be doing another TGM tag-along because I said people could shoot me if I didn't get one up, so... I'll probably do that tomorrow if I can't get the Xbox working and do it on that because I couldn't do that with my Elgato earlier. But that's really it. 0289 Amorous 0289 is my PSN. So yeah, that's about it for me. And I think Dan, you said you want Steve to take us out this week.
Yeah, well, I thought it'd be a nice little turnaround.
Okay, so if you want to get in touch with the Gamesmen, you can look them up on Facebook, the Gamesmen. Give it a like there. And we want more voicemails. I didn't set up this voicemail line for nothing, folks. Call the RPG hotline.
It seems like you did.
412-267-RPG1. It's 412-267-RPG1. You can email us at thegamesmanrpg@gmail.com to submit MP3s or voicemails in that fashion. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/thegamesmanrpg. New followers at Beat Techniques. So thank you. You can also listen to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thegamesmanrpg. You can get at us and let us know what you're doing and answer the quest of the week with TGM check hashtag and a hashtag of TGM quest. You can check out the Twitch stream at twitch.tv/thegamesmanrpg, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
And iTunes reviews. Always want them, love them. Definitely. And yeah. So
I'll give a game to somebody that goddamn gives us one.
Oh, jeez.
All right, well, in that case.
We're going to get like 100 now.
So for old time's sake, I'll take us out of here. And that will do it for episode 15 of the rebooted The Gamesmen podcast. On behalf of Hardlydan, on behalf of Amorous89, I am Jsslifelike. We are The Gamesmen. And until next time, we ask,
what role will you play?
I get an advertisement for Game Sack.
I got my own game sack.
Time for me to kick back on my elephantiasis scrotum as a beanbag and play some games. I sprayed the meanest pit bull in town one time. The meanest pit bull in Washington, Pennsylvania. That thing came at me from across the street. It broke the chain.
Oh, God.
And it came running, okay? Came barreling at me, and it was a female, too, so you know this thing was a bitch. So, it's running, right? And it comes at me, and it's so fixated on me that it came running, had its mouth open, and wouldn't even close its mouth to bark. It was going, like it's screaming at me. And it's barreling. So the video game skills kick in. I grab my spray, and I start to spray it, and I just use that little bit of wrist to adjust the angle, and I sprayed it right down the neck, right down its throat. And it didn't stop. It kept coming, right? And finally, I felt its breath on my leg as it turned tail and ran back across the street. The mace must have just kicked in just in time.
Jeez.
I saw my life flash before my eyes. I thought I was going to get mauled.
Oh my God.
And then they called the people, and they said, hey, you got to take that pit bull inside. They said, we don't want it inside. That bitch is mean. Do you want silence at different stages of my video card fan?
Just open up everything on your computer. Just start running a game, and then
like right in the middle of the show, the thing's gonna go.
It's kind of the gully laugh.
Oh God. Oh my God. Let me blow my nose and then we'll do songs.
If not fully satisfied with this podcast, please return any portion for a full refund.
So you can run and tell that, homeboy.